Another brilliant delivery by Pavitra. Play with a big swing. A bit of confusion initially between the two batsmen. However, they do reach safely for a single run. Ajay hits it into the air, finds the gap, past Hardik Bhai's outstretched hand and over the boundary for 4 more runs. Ajay is looking like a very dangerous batsman. Taken Sarnia Sting across 50 runs. Wide signal by the umpire. And Rahul Bhai puts that down. Very unfortunate. Ajay is the most dangerous batsman here on the Sarnia team. He has 28 runs on just 10 deliveries. Meadowvale will surely regret that fielding lapse. That's the end of the over. The score is 55 runs, loss of 3 wickets. Sarnia is putting up 8 runs per over. 100 runs is definitely still an achievable target for this team. Ajay flicks it over, finds a gap, and a good effort by the fielder, but it goes over the boundary. 4 more runs. Ajay puts that over the leg side boundary. Big six. Wide signal by the umpire.
That's a huge six by Ajay. When Ajay keeps going, it's unstoppable. That's a quick single. Abhay on strike. Here on the bowling end. That was a juicy full toss, but Abhay completely missed it. It's end of the over. 73. And it's a strategic timeout. at the end of the 8 overs. Sarnia 73 for 3. It's a batting power play. Ajay already looking dangerous, but Kunal Malavia has the ball. Kunal Malavia setting up his own field. That was a rocket from Ajay. Ball racing towards the boundary. And that's flat six. That's Ajay's 50. He's at 55. That's a single. Ajay made 15, 17 balls. That's one of the fastest on this ground.
Abhay smartly takes a single and puts Ajay back on strike. Ajay hits a nice shot, but unfortunately clips the curtain. They still take 2 runs. Short pitch delivery is punished by Ajay. That bounces close to the boundary just before 4 more runs. At the end of 9 overs, the score is 91 runs, loss of 3 wickets. Previously, the question was, could Sarnia put up 100 runs on the board? Now the question is, can they put up 150? And Abhay gets into the act here with a big 4 of his own. Meadowvale seemed to be getting punished in these power play overs. And Abhay finds another gap. 4 more runs on the board. Meadowvale have no answers for Sarnia Sting in this power play. That brings up a 52-run partnership between these two batsmen. Abhay hits it into the air. The fielders cannot get to it. Single run is taken. He just didn't get enough of that. Otherwise, there was nobody on the boundary. That could have been 4 more runs. However, 100 runs are on the board for Meadowvale. So Sarnia have put up 100 runs. The runs come very fast on this ground, this APL 2026. Ajay finds a gap. Good bit of fielding by the fielder. Off of a shoe. Can it stop the boundary? Yes, it was just enough to stop the ball from going over the boundary. He saved 2 runs there. That is the end of the 10th over. Score is 102 for a loss of 3 wickets. So I'm joined now in the booth by my colleague Devashish Soni. We have 2 more overs left in this first innings. Daria with his first delivery, flicked away. Fielder, single run taken. Ajay is on strike. Ajay has been looking very dangerous. Dev, what do you think he's doing?
Yeah, and that's a four. That's his bat speaking today, Amar Bhai. Once he gets going, it's very hard to stop Ajay.
Full toss. Ajay flicks it away straight to Ayush on the boundary. Single run taken.
Sarnia is playing at 10.3 runs an over.
Abhay hits a straight shot. Big six into the commentary booth. That's 114 runs on the board for Sarnia.
This is phenomenal batting, what we are seeing today from Sarnia.
Another full toss that was going towards the boundary. However, it bounces safely for a single. Unlucky for Sarnia.
Ajay back on strike.
And that's a good bounce back by Dharia on the final delivery of that over. So the score is 115 runs, loss of just 3 wickets at the end of 11 overs. I think at this point, 130 runs is certainly in the question. Maybe not even crossing that threshold would be a bit of a disappointment for Sarnia at the way that they're batting right now.
Ajay is on 69 on 26 balls.
Ajay hits that into the curtains, a single run taken. Correction, a bit of misfielding. That's 2 runs. He's back on strike now at 71 runs. The highest score of this APL 2026 individual score has been, I believe, 77 runs by Nisarg. So Ajay, if he gets on strike, can cross that threshold. That ball is hit into the roof and straight to space. Dead ball signaled by the umpire.
Ajay needs. What do you think, Amar Bhai? In order to break that highest individual score, how many balls would Ajay need in order to get there?
Needs 2 balls, but the important thing is to get back on strike. Abhay finds the gap and it races over the boundary. 4 more runs. Ajay, of course, wants to have his personal milestone, but I don't think he'll complain with team success, hitting 4s and 6s. That's single run taken. Ajay is back on strike. There's 3 more deliveries left in this innings. It's over. Ajay can certainly cross 77 runs. finds a gap. However, the fielder is there on the boundary. Single run taken. That brings up 70 runs off of just 27 deliveries from Ajay. Phenomenal batting display. Now we have one delivery remaining in this over. Ajay is on strike on 70 runs. Hits it straight to Hardik Bhai. A bit of misfielding. However, only one run is taken. That's the end of the over, the end of the innings. Target is set for Meadowvale Express. They have to score 126 runs to win this game. That's a big target, Devbhai. However, we have seen 127 chase yesterday. What do you think Meadowvale has to do to hit that target?
I personally believe the intent of winning the game should be there, having that aggression starting from ball one. If that's present, I think they can at least take the match close, and then at the mid of the inning they can decide on what run rate they have left up in order to get there.
I think that's the correct analysis. Sarnia has scored at 10.4 runs per over. Scoring 10 runs and over is something we've seen as fairly commonplace in this APL 2026. I think just holding on to a few of their wickets early stages of the match will give Meadowvale the confidence to put their foot on the gas, the midway point.
That's so true, Amarbai. This year specifically, APL, we have seen the scores going high. The teams are very stronger. The openers have changed their mindset from achieving that 6 runs and over to racing at 10 and over. That's what we see intent of the batsman coming in.
What do you think that change of mindset is attributed to? Is the ground any different this year, or is it maybe just different approach by the management of all the teams?
Yeah, I truly believe the ground same. The bowlers are even stronger. However, the batsman intent has changed, and they are using the power play at the max. And just not the power play, but they are utilizing any weak bowlers, any weak balls throughout the inning to hit it for a 4 or 6.
Well, Sarnia is making their way back onto the field now, defend their score. They must be feeling very good with the target that they have on the board. However, as we've just said, no score is safe here, APL 2026, especially against motivated Meadowvale team that needs this win, even sniff a chance at the playoffs next week.
So Meadowvale has a do or die game, Amarbai.
That's right. It's not just that they have to win, but they have to win by good margin to qualify for the playoffs. So, that being said, they probably have to have a goal of 12 or 13 runs and over their head.
Yeah, so two batsmen walking in from Meadowvale. Smith on non-striker end. Alokik has a great strategy, and he's setting his field up. Part by Kadam has the ball in his hand, setting the field up with Sarnia only two players out as is a power play. That's a dot. Every dot counts here. That's another dot. The batsman seems to check the length of the ball. We'll see what the third ball brings to the inning of Meadowvale. He swinged hard but missed it. That's a dot again. Three dot balls and the pressure building on the batsman. And another dot. The interesting point here is it's a power play and four dot balls. That's a fifth dot. And Padbhai Kadam is seriously bowling a nice line. Has two miss. Wow, that's a maiden from Padbhai Kadam. When the score gets high, the bowling team already builds the pressure now on the batting team, which is Meadowvale. Meet by taking the strike again while Sagar is bowling. He has a good variations in his bowling lineup. His setting is filled up, taking the long on. That's a seventh dot ball. Meadowvale really needs to connect some balls here. Whoa, that was an outswinger from Sagar. And 8 balls, 0 runs. Meadowvale has to connect some. That's an immense pressure I think Meadowvale's taking. They don't have to take this pressure. They have to just connect simply the balls. Once it's connected, it's out in the power play. That was only needed. A nice connect. Meadowvale opens their scoreboard with 1 run on the 10th ball of the inning. Oh, that was in a block hole. 1.5. And it's 1 run. That was a solid hit, but Alok Iqbal stopped it. Very well fielding Alok Iqbal. Alok Iqbal is a solid fielder on the boundary, and he's now taking his stance again. Advai Kadam coming for his second over, third over for Sarnia. The score is at 2. The field has opened up. The power play is done. Now we see where Meadowvale starts raising their run rate here. That was interesting. This 7 dot balls in a row by Parthvai Kadam. Oh, that was another dot ball. 8 dot balls by Patrick Kadam, and that's proof why Alok Iqbal picked him as a draft player. Another dot. Patrick Kadam is a magnificently bowling this inning. 9 dot balls. Wow. He's bowling at every length and changing his line very smartly, not allowing batsmen to pick up. That's 10 balls from Patrick Kadam and hasn't. Keir is playing 1 run in 12 balls. That's another dot. Sarnia has made it to a test match instead of T12. And that's a dot. That's 2 maidens. I think the one or the first one in APL history of bowling 2 maidens, passed by Kadam. Alok Iqbal has his strategy lined up and he's improving every year. He has already won 2 APLs. Experienced captain, setting his field up. He himself is purely dedicated to his team and coming over the boundary. That's a wide ball by MP. And review taken by Alok. Alok was very quick on taking the review as he was setting very pretty straightforward. That's not a wide. A great review by Alok. That's a connect and a single for Meadowvale. Meadowvale has changed their game to pretty much just holding wickets, and I think the intent should be hitting runs. Phil set up again. And that's a single from Keyur. He has 2 runs in 14 balls. Smith having 2 runs in 6 balls. Tiger bowling a very tight line here. That's another dot. Meadowvale. That was a hit, but just going to the deep mid wicket for a single. Alok Iqbal setting his bowling lineup very well. He must win this match in order to keep the momentum for the next year. Another dot. That's the end of the over. 4 overs done with 5 runs and 0 wickets. Meadowvale seems to here hold their wickets but not score the runs. This is gonna be very costly for Meadowvale. They need to qualify, then they need to hit some really strong boundaries from here. But Alokik Bhai is extremely strong. That's a single. Meadowvale on strike. Alokik setting his field up again. Continuing his side. That's a no ball. That was probably a slip of the ball from Alokik. And a ball. Alokik was not happy with that wicket. I think he wanted to keep the batsman in. That was a free hit. In fact. Eight to ball. Very similar delivery. And it was a hit. 1 wicket. That's another dot. Alokik Bhai has a solid building setup here. Not even allowing now singles to head over. Another dot. And Meadowvale has given his wicket now. I think it was an immense pressure from the dugout for him to hit some strong shots. Hardik Bhai Wadil and Kunal Malavia really discussing their strategies out there in the dugout. But Alokik Bhai is very active here on the field. His team is very aggressive right now, having 4 overs, 7 runs, 1 wicket. Another lefty batsman on strike. That's a dot ball from Alokik. I can see the intent from Meadowvale right now. They wanted to hit. That's a single from Vishal. Smith on strike. Alokik on a bowling lineup. That's the end of the over. 5 overs, 8 runs, and 1 wicket. And that's bowled. It is by Solanki bowling. Meadowvale has a good flow of wickets, what we've seen. Not with the runs. 5 overs, 8 runs, 2 wickets. Now Pavitra Mohanty on strike. He's a hard hitter, what we have heard, what we have seen, what we have witnessed so far. And in order to gain the momentum, Mr. Mohanty has to really connect some good balls from here in order to take Meadowvale to at least 6 and over. There will be immense pressure on Pavitra Bhai. And yeah, first ball tended to the mid wicket, but for a single, we can see the intent again from Pavitra Bhai. Very aggressive. That's out, hot and caught behind the stumps by Ravi Bhai Vadodaria. It is by taking 2 wickets. Hardik Bhai Wadil is on strike. He's warming up while he comes on strike. Two aggressive batsmen wearing 18 number t-shirt. We'll see his aggression now with the bat. That's a white ball. And saved. That was a nice ball from Mitesh Bhai to Hardik Bhai. Hardik Bhai just always checks 3 balls and then hits for a huge one. And that's a catch. I think he needed to check 3 balls, but he was very aggressive from very beginning. The warm-up did not lasted long enough. I think it will be a very long walk back to the dugout. Hardik Bhai is seeing Alokik and Alokik is watching him. Three wickets for Mitesh Bhai. That's a single. Nearby made a single and end of the over. Alokik Bhai on his bowling run up. Right arm over. Setting his field up. 6 overs, 11 runs and 4 wickets. One of the strongest bowling performance what we have seen so far from Sarnia Sting. Another dot. That's another dot. I think Meadows taking extra pressure on them, trying to hit every ball. The singles are hard to come even. That's another dot. Alokik Bhai not allowing any room to the batsman, changing his line extremely well. That's another dot for nearby. Alokik Bhai continuously wearing his length here. He's a smart bowler. That's a catch and taken very sharply by Mitesh Bhai on short cover, giving Alokik Bhai the last laugh here. Kunal Malavya on strike. Alokik Bhai. That's another dot. That's the end of 7 overs, 11 runs, 5 wickets. Alokik Bhai only considering 3 runs in 2 overs with one maiden and 1 wicket. Dangerous Mitesh Bhai Solanki again on the bowling lineup. Pavitra on strike. And that's a hit, but for a single, Mitesh Bhai bowling right arm over, already considered 3 wickets to Kunal Bhai Malavya. Still setting up. That's another single to long on. The umpires has been great here, Jimit Bhai and Rikin Bhai. Extremely diligent about their decisions here. That was a huge six to the deep mid wicket. Six signal by umpire Jimit. The first six of the Meadowvale comes in the 7th over. This was the intent needed from the first over. However, it's not late. And that was a dot ball. A direct full toss missed by Pavitra Bhai. That's a hit to the commentary box. Another six. Where were you, Pavitra Bhai? He's really picking up Meadowvale. And that's another hit. Six after six. It's a no ball and a huge six on the deep mid wicket and a free hit signal by umpire Jimit Bhai. Rikin Bhai, a great signal from the leggy. A single on a free hit ball. That's the end of the over. A very good over for Meadowvale coming in just before the strategic timeout. Alokik Joshi again coming to Pavitra. Dangerous Pavitra here. We'll really see the good contest between a really strike bowler, Alokik, to an aggressive batsman, Pavitra. Alokik has given only 3 runs with 1 maiden, and this is his last over of the spell. That was over the top of the point, racing towards the boundary. And it's a boundary signaled by the fielder. That's a good sportsman spirit, what we see here in Atmiya Premier League. First boundary conceded by Alokik. He's not happy with it. Could have been stopped. Another hit to the deep mid wicket for a single. We have seen the momentum in the Meadowvale batting lineup since last over. Kunal Malavia taking single. He's doing the right thing what's needed for Meadowvale. He's giving Pavitra Bhai the strike, and Pavitra Bhai is purely connecting the ball right to the boundary ropes. Aloki coming with his fourth delivery. And that was a drop. A drop from a batsman like this, who has been significantly hitting every ball, would have been a costly, but Meadowvale is at 39 and need that was a hit and racing towards the deep mid wicket, signaled 4 by umpire Jimit. Pavitra is playing 30 runs in just 10 balls. He's really taking the momentum up here. One more delivery remaining from Alokik. Field not set up. Some confusion here. Another hit. It's in 30 yards. Oh, that's a flat six. Six to a bowler who bowled 2 maidens. But the first ball gets hit for a six. Can Pavitra take it? At least to the close, if not win for Meadowvale. And that's a single. But the ball racing towards the 4. Pavitra proving himself that he is number 1 draft. A draft to a draft. hitting 10 runs in 2 balls to Fatbhai Kadam, who bowled 2 maidens. That's the intent. And another, the defeat wicket for a single. I personally think Pavitra just needs to keep his strike, and Kunal Malavia doing the right job here. Fatbhai Kadam coming for his 4th delivery. That's a bowl from Fatbhai Kadam. That was a nice ball. Bowler Fatbhai Kadam. He's an extremely smart bowler. He bowled 2 maidens. Now a wicket. Pavitra Bai has to be on strike. Play each and every ball to maximize the effect from here. That's a single to the long on. Last ball. Oh, that was saved. End of the over for Pathway Kadam. 3 overs, 12 runs, 1 wicket. The spell for him. Sign of power play by umpire Jimit Bhai. 10 over 56. They are running 6 runs and over. The required run rate is 35 and over. So technically, they need to hit 11 sixes and a boundary. Ayush Patel on strike. Sagar on the bowling lineup. That's a dot ball. Every dot ball that requires run rate to an unchaseable target. That was a hit for a single. Pavitra Bai playing 42 runs in just 15 deliveries. He has the chance again to score the fastest what Ajay did in Sarnia's string inning. Can Pavitra hit 2 sixes from here? And that's a boundary from Pavitra Bai. He is at 48 in 16 balls. He has the same opportunity like what Ajay did for Sarnia. That's a dot ball from Sagar. He also smartly varies his line and length. 48 runs for Pavitra Bai. He doesn't care if he's close, but he hits. The ball went off to the roof. Pavitra really has a good chance of scoring a 50, keeping his name on board, that one of the top individual scorers. And that's a hit within the 30-yard circle. And a drop catch. Pavitra on 49. Ayush on strike. Tiger coming up with his last delivery. Oh, that was a misunderstanding, miscommunication. Pavit, Pavit on 49. That's a boundary over the square. And Pavitra's 50 coming in just 19 balls. He's a hard hitter. He proved it again and again. That was a toe-breaking Yorker. A dot ball. That was a misfill, but just for a single. A great inning by Pavitra Bhai. He just needed support for Meadowvale. That's a dot ball from Ajay. That's a wide delivery and a bye. A bye signal from umpire Jimit Bhai. Two more balls to go. And a dot ball. Ajay doing everything what he could do for Sarnia. With the bat, with the ball. And that was the last ball. A catch missed by Sarnia. Sarnia making a commanding win from here. Great game, great batting show by Pavitra by Mohanty. 55 not out in 23 balls.